Forget the concept, the hustle culture. And I've been guilty of saying hustle. The new productivity is energy aligned and soul sustaining. That's what we're going to focus on. Energy aligned, soul sustaining. Basically, traditional productivity tips don't work anymore if your energy is totally off, or you're not feeling it, you're burned out, or you're just not aligned. You're not going to do the things you want to do. Things are going to fall off your plate and you're going to run around like in this whole kind of like in a hamster wheel feeling. And you need to realign, just realign to be productive and present in your life. So you're not like, what just happened? You're kind of going unconscious sometimes in life when we're not paying attention to what we want. And you have to think about, like, if you go from chaos and everything's like running around like, oh my gosh, when someone says, oh my gosh, my life's crazy, to clarity. That is the energy of productivity. Like when you can know how to there's a system and a pattern and you're just in the zone, right? That feeling of being in the zone is such a great feeling. And how do you get that? It's from being aligned with your energy. Main points we're going to talk about today is really thinking about what causes energy drain for you, specifically as a woman or a man, if you're watching this, to morning energy rituals. How do you get more energy? How do you start the day out right to get you straight? Maybe you start out at night if you're working night shift. So whatever your morning is for you, aligned to-do list. Not just random crazy to-do lists, working in a flow state and being in the zone, right? And then quick midday energy boost for when you have those like after lunch moments, or when you're just tired or you're running empty. Instead of grabbing that coffee, what can you do to energize yourself? So the biggest things I think that people don't know is that multitasking actually makes you more drained because you have to switch tasks. So at a conference, and Tom Berry, it was a Tom Berry conference, and he talked about how you can count from 1 to 26 really quick, and you can do ABCs really quick because it's ingrained in who we are as human beings if you were born in the US and you were raised here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 5, 26, right? Boom. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, you can count all the way to Z. But if you have to go A1, B2, C3, D4, E5, you have to think. You're going back and forth and thinking, and there will be a moment that it catches you and you mess up. He actually did this demonstration in person at the conference, and it was kind of like, wow, it did mess up. And I want you to think about that, because how many of you, especially moms and wives and people doing multiple things, are trying to do this, do these things, and then on top of that, do something else? And then you mess something up and you don't know why. Because your brain is not fully focused at that task in the moment. And that's why switch tasking, multitasking actually takes you longer. You have more chances for mistakes and having to go back and correct it. So it takes you twice as long. And 3, it actually wears you out and burns you out. So that's a huge, huge critical point of energy drain. Retraining yourself to do things one at a time would be huge. Second is saying yes out of guilt. Oh my gosh. I felt so called out when I wrote that down. So true. Saying yes out of guilt, not because you want to. And then holding the emotional weight of things that don't need to be there, like understanding how to cut your cords and clear things out and move on, because the past is the past. You can't change it. The future is something you don't know, and we have the present. That's why it's a present. I love that little saying. I think it was from Kung Fu Panda. And then the second would be morning energy rituals. Like, what are you doing to give you energy in the morning to start out? Are you, number one, getting enough rest? And if you're not, why are you not getting enough rest? And figure out what that root cause is for yourself. Salt showers, dry brushing, energizing. I know a lot of people do cold plunges. I'm not a fan, but if you are, great for you. Working out, moving your body, getting out in the sun, deep breathing, maybe the meditation. All these different things are for you, like stretching, yoga, maybe playing with your dog, going for a dog walk. If you live at the beach, going to the beach, walking on the beach, swimming. Everybody has different things that kind of makes them perk up and give energy. What is that for you? Maybe drinking a huge thing of water. I drink a water with a hydrogen tab. My husband's like really big on that. I think a big podcaster, Gary Brecka, I think is his name is, like really was a big proponent. So we're hot and heavy on that, and the NAD pills and all that stuff that gives us energy in the morning. But that's our ritual. Like, what is your ritual? Maybe you need to change that up and think about what gives you energy and what doesn't give you energy. Aligned to-do list. Not everything in a list belongs to you. What do you need to give away? What do you need to not do and take a break from? What do you need to say, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that anymore, maybe. Or that's not for me, so I'm not doing that anymore. Maybe just changing it up and figuring out what's for you, what's not for you, and being like, that's not work for me anymore. I'm not doing it. I love to read. I know friends that hate to read, but they love the knowledge, so they do audiobooks. And while they're listening to the audiobooks, they might be cleaning or doing something else. Just different, things like that. That is something that changes your life, maybe, if you think about it. But if you're always giving yourself a hard time about, I have to read the book, and you're not wanting to read the book, that might be a place for you to revise what you need to be doing and not doing. Learning to delegate, delete, or delay. I like that. Delegate, delete, or delay? What do you need to do on your list? Look at your list, look at your calendars. And also, delay is great because sometimes we do things that we don't even need to do for like 2 months from now, but we obsess about getting it done. And I know there is a satisfaction to getting things done ahead of time, but sometimes, like, why are you worrying about that just to check the box instead of doing something that really will move you forward in what you want in life? Also, working in flow states, understanding how to get into the zone and working, chunking things down in your life when you are operating at a higher level. Maybe your high energy periods late morning, getting all those hard thinking things done in the morning. Maybe if you're in sales, you need to be making phone calls and meeting people in the morning, not when you're exhausted in the evening. Things like that are really important. Batching your work with breaks, like giving yourself a mind break where you just go and like jump up and down, or go get a drink, or go listen to a song, or just give yourself a break that you can come back, reset, and be fresh instead of just going on and on and on and on. Because I think that's really dangerous when people don't give themselves breaks. Breaks are so important. Even when you drive on a long road trip, you stop, you use the bathroom, you get a snack. Breaks are important, people. High energy tasks first. Anything that takes a lot of decision and strategy and thinking and coordinating and precision, I would say do that earlier in the day when you have energy or when you're rested, not towards the end of the day when you've already made so many decisions and you're trying to force your brain to go into that decision mode. Really difficult for human beings. I think you have to remember we are a supercomputer and we need to reset and refresh and energize and plug in. So recognize where that is for you and understand that it's different for each person. So I would say that's something you only know for yourself and you need to take the time to carve that out to figure it out. I love this. What is your quick midday energy boost? Are you someone that I kind of get tired around 3 or 4. I don't know what it is about 3 and 4 and I'm like, I just feel like I need a coffee or something, a nap. God, when I was pregnant, forget it. I had to take a nap every day. And so the breath of fire, breathing, meditating, listening to your hype song, doing a little dancing, moving your body, maybe working out late day instead of working out in the morning may be better for you, but taking a walk, doing an energy sweep, doing sweeping in general, for me, I'm going to start working on that and listening to the music because it's a meditative chant, the Buddhist chant. You're allowed to be powerful without being busy, guys. Okay, so you can think about that. It's really, really important to think about. And you need to think about too, like, what works for you may not work for someone else. So don't think that you need to compare yourself to your energy boost to someone else or your schedule or your list to someone else. Even within the same household, if your spouse is doing something, there's no such thing as like even, equal, exact. So figure out what you need for your time in life and what you need to do to basically go from chaos to clarity and having productivity that actually moves you forward instead of just a bunch of stuff everywhere and never feeling like you're getting anything done on your list. So hopefully this is helpful for you. Drop below what your energy boosts are. I love to add on my list of different types of energy boosts. And if you're curious for more and you want to have a little private session with me, shoot me a DM and we'll schedule. I'd love to chat to you about your types of growth and transformations and maybe the next phase in your reinvention. So till next time, stay empowered and talk to you soon.